Good evening, everyone. My name is Brian Grimkowski. I'm one of the Assistant Directors of Graduate Admissions at William Paterson University. Want to thank you for taking time out of your schedule this evening to join us. It's our hope that this is a convenient way for you to get a lot of information in a relatively short amount of time about our new Master of Science in Applied Business Analytics. I'm joined here by Michael Yakubov, who is the Director of our Graduate Business programs here, and he'll speak at length about the program. We're very excited about it. It's a new offering for us for the fall semester. Certainly, you might want to know more about the details of the program, what one can do with this degree, and some of the trends that are going on with the field, and he's going to address that for you in just a minute. Want to make sure you know as we go through, we are recording this presentation in its entirety. So if you do find for family reasons, work reasons, whatever the case may be, you need to duck out a little bit early, you will get this presentation emailed to you usually within a couple days, and that will include the link to our YouTube channel. So you'll be able to refer back, catch up on any slides you might have missed, whether there's contact information for Michael or others within the department that would be helpful for you. So that allows you to be hands-free. We want you to be able to just concentrate on the presentation and not have to jot down notes or anything else. So keep that in mind. Looking way further ahead, we are going to be having an open house in August. That's a general open house. But what might also be of interest to you is our open house that's coming up on June 21st for our College of Business. And that will be going over all of our grad programs as well as those within the College of Business. So keep that as sort of a save the date in the back of your mind. You will be getting an email with an invitation to that event if you haven't already received one. And certainly it's our hope you can come to our Valley Road campus, get the chance to see our facilities for yourself, and also meet Michael in person and some of the other members of his department. So certainly I know you're not here to listen to me talk at length. I do want to make sure you know as we go through, if you have any questions, you can just type them into the chat box there on the GoToWebinar screen. And at the very end, we'll read them off and Michael will be able to answer them for you. Hopefully he answers everything as he goes through. But if you do have anything you want us to elaborate on further, please feel free to ask your questions. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to you, Michael. Take it away.
Thank you, Brian. I appreciate that. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. And so I know you're not able to see me at the moment, but I would love to kind of show you and walk you through our presentation today in a way that is interesting to you. So I'm not going to try to bore you with all the specific details just about our academic program. I will certainly share those details so you're well informed about what you wish to do in your academic progression. But what I tried to do in this presentation is really just focus on a few key areas. And as I go through them with you, I want to make sure that you're able to absolutely benefit from perhaps understanding what are some of the trends in the marketplace and what's happening in this technology field that we're in and technology-driven world that we're in. So, and then I blended that into our curriculum. So I really feel that that might be the better way to present, because that's what we're really here for, about learning about data analytics, understanding what type of employment opportunities are prospecting out there, what can you do with a career in analytics, and perhaps if you're already in the field, where else can you look? What else can you do to progress in your professional goals? As Brian mentioned already, you can type in questions. I'll be able to answer them on the fly. Certainly answer them towards the end. There's an opportunity to connect with me at any point after the presentation, and hopefully you'll be able to join us for the open house on June 21st. We're really making this an exclusive venue event for prospective students for a variety of different programs. So these are the kind of the areas that I wanted to cover. We can talk about the program structure and design, talk to you about industry trends and market demands. What about the academic resources that we offer to you? What happens in the admissions and financial aid process? How can we make that an easy process for you? What are the tools that you should be utilizing and will be utilizing in the program? And then, of course, how do we transition all of these things that we talk about into your progression and your career goals? So the goal and vision of the program. When we designed the Masters of Science in Applied Business Analytics here, we didn't want to just design a program that was just technically sound. That is obviously a given. We want to have a program that has a wonderful technical aspect to it, because there's a lot of digital, there's a lot of technical knowledge, there's computer knowledge, it's a blend of computer science skills and a variety of other disciplines. But one of the key things about the Cotsacos College of Business is that our faculty are trained professionals in the sense that they have a very wide diversity of professional backgrounds. And one of the things that we really felt was a strength to us and will differentiate us in the market is to be able to have the ability to teach you that applied concept, the leadership skills. How do you go out there in the market, garner an interest of your employer, or working with consumers and customers, or perhaps you own your own business? How do you consult, and how do you get your market share out there in a way that is really focused on supply and demand, and you're able to apply those leadership skills and understand the technical skills in the process? So that was really the focus when we designed the program. We didn't want it to be one way too much on the technical side or too much on the other side. On the contrary, wanted to have that 50-50 blend of technical and leadership application skills. Okay, so for those that may not be familiar, and I don't know where you are in your professional career at this moment, but really, what is data analytics? And it really comes down to a blend of three areas. Really, mathematics, of course, it's a numbers, quantitative knowledge, computer science, and domain expertise. And we kind of change that formula all the time because technology changes and the demand changes, but it all falls under that umbrella of data science. So as you'll go through the curriculum, as I share the curriculum with you today, keep those things in mind. But there are three really key pieces to data analytics, right? They're predictive analytics, descriptive analytics, and prescriptive analytics. What does that mean? For a business, I talk about what has happened, right? How do you generate data? How do you get that data? What can happen because you have that data, and what can you do with it, right? This is a very, very simple question, but let's look at it a little bit from a broader perspective. So whether you work in marketing, whether you work in perhaps pharmaceutical management, in the finance industry, whatever industry you work in, if you want to be invaluable to your company, if you want to be able to be absolutely integral to the operations, if you can master the basic understanding of how data works and how it's delivered, and you can take data and use it as a form of resource to make decisions, to put them together and have the ability to communicate up and down different levels with different team members, you can actually have impact in a way that you've never had before. And in many cases, it's impacting the organization's bottom line. But for you, it's also giving you the tools and the skills to be able to connect with a variety of different people, the technical support people, to the leadership individuals, middle managers, and then to the decision makers, and have all that output go out to your client. So if you can master the skill, it'll really be something that will help you differentiate yourself in the market. So just think about that concept as we go through the presentation. Okay, so just a little bit of insight. If you have technical skills, how does this actually translate to your career, right? You can know numbers, you can know data, you can understand it to a certain degree and a certain value, but does it really translate? Well, according to an organization called Burning Glass Technology, where I've generated some of my data for this presentation, they're saying that data scientists, advanced scientists, continually will see a huge demand, 28% by 2020. And I'll show you some of the jobs and job scoping that's out there and what they're looking for as technology evolves. But if you're in the virtual reality marketplace, in the gaming world, which is booming, continued to change, if you're in marketing, if you're in consumer retail, food industry, banking, sales, security, social networking, if you're in certain pharma or Internet of Things, and many, many other industry arenas, you're going to see that technology is abound, that data usage, data collection, data gathering is a huge, huge networking need for professionals connecting out there in industry, connecting globally, connecting locally, virtually, and being able to have an output for the consumer. So it translates really well to your industry. And one of the keys that I'll pull out is it's not just about the degree, and it's not just about the job that you'll generate, but it's actually the skills that you're going to acquire and attain. So just to show you, as we know, this is the future of analytics trends. It's already moving in this direction, right? You can walk into a store in Seattle and walk right out without having to actually pay a cashier. You can have somebody place an order for hair appointment for you, or pizza delivery via Google Assist. You can have drones eventually delivering pizza to us and other goods, and virtual reality, and immersing yourself in a world that's outside of what you're currently used to. So technology continues to change. And as you're looking at this chart that I'm sharing with you, we already know that much of this exists and we're moving to the next frontier, but there have to be individuals and professionals that have the skills to be able to provide this knowledge, this resource, this coding, and also the individuals that understand what it takes to secure it and progress it. So we really want you to be on the cutting edge of this. Okay, so just sharing information a little bit about the Cotsakos College of Business. The Cotsakos College of Business has really been a pillar in the New Jersey marketplace. Is one of the best business schools in the area. We really have a top-end MBA program. We have wonderful faculty, but as we introduce the Masters of Science in Executive Sales Leadership and the Masters of Science in Applied Business Analytics, we really are keenly aware of what it is that is relevant to prospective students. So one thing to mention, we're AACSB accredited, which is the top accreditation you can have in a business school. Top 5% of business schools are AACSB accredited, and that really holds to the value of your degree. We're a military-friendly institution, so if you've been in the armed forces, that certainly plays well into some of the resources we offer to you. And in addition to that, the Princeton Review continually recognizes us as one of the top business programs in this region. So we're really proud of all of those things. But in addition to that, I really want to share details about the MS in Analytics. So I'm going to jump into that right away. So for many of our students, whether you are a working professional or you might be an international prospective student looking to come to the United States to study, you might have recently graduated from college or already immersed in the workforce, we have two different opportunities for you to enroll in our program. So the part-time professional can take 2 classes a week. That equates to about 6 credits. And you'll have a class in an evening, maybe on a Monday and one on a Wednesday. If you're full-time or an international student and you require a full load of courses, unlike undergraduate, the full-time course load at a graduate level ideally is 9 credits. That's 3 classes a week. So it gives you an opportunity to have a good work-life balance, not to have too much interruption, really delve into your academic material without really overburdening you with 18 credits or 15 credits that you may have had at the undergraduate level. So a lot of flexibility, 2 different tracks, a part-time track and a full-time track. What's unique about the design of the analytics program here? Well, first and foremost, it is team-oriented in the sense that we will teach you to not only work in groups, but interact in groups and how to take on different leadership roles within the group that you're in different varied areas of strength. And that's something that is uniquely different to our program. It allows our students to really perhaps wear that leadership hat in one capacity and take a backseat in another and learn how to interact with your peers. The program is theme focused. I mentioned to you that we really wanted to emphasize that applied business analytic concept. So we will use case studies, we will use themes to kind of really talk to you at a level and a language that is very familiar to you, but also translates well into the industry. And theme-based learning is actually shown to raise an academic aptitude by an enormous amount of success because you're engaged and you understand the concepts that are associated to the theme in the course and also how they relate to industry. Now, technically sound, we have all the software and all the resources you're going to need to be successful in the program. So we'll talk about those in a second. Case studies, we want to show you real life relevant world examples of how data is applied, how decisions are made, and also allow you the ability to formulate your kind of ideas about what's right and what's wrong in industry. So that'll cover concepts in ethics and other arenas. And then perhaps the most important part of the program is that it's led in a cohort design. What does that mean? That means that as a professional, you'll be working with other like professionals, and all of the students in the program will take courses together. And why do we do that for this particular program? Because we really want you to work with one another, work with the instructor, utilize resources, lean on one another's strengths, and be able to have that support system throughout the tenure of your program to do exceptionally well and really excel and lead kind of that next frontier in your professional goals while you have that experience in the academic environment. Okay, so that's the design of the program. Now, some wrinkles that we feel are beneficial to you to offer you the ability to have that work-life balance. All of our classes start at 7 p.m. in the evenings, so you have time to get here. In the spring of 2019, after the first semester in the fall here, we want to make sure that there's more flexibility, and we're touting the idea of offering some weekend courses as well. So perhaps you'll have a class on a Monday, and then your next class won't happen until Saturday, and gives you quite a bit of distance of time to learn, to study, to get everything together. We utilize a pretty active and creative Blackboard platform for our students to be able to have chat groups, to have connection with your peers, talk to your faculty, have all your research access information, and also case studies and readings, everything in one platform to make your life easy. And really just want to make sure that you have that work, family, and life balance, whether you're working full-time, part-time, you have family obligations, or other personal obligations. The program is not designed to overburden you. It is challenging, but it's designed to give you resources to be successful. And down the line, we may be offering courses that are hybrid, which is a blend of online or distance and face-to-face instruction. And that'll vary and give you some flexibility. And by the time you need to be here on campus, and perhaps have a week off and be able to work digitally from a distance learning platform. So a lot of little bells and whistles that really complement and make a strong program. Okay, so here's some of the courses that we have identified to be really key movers and shakers in industry. And we looked at these, and the reason we chose and designed these courses in a sequence is because they're not just trendy. These are things that are here to stay, and they're going to continue to evolve. So this is a summary of the courses. I'll just name a few. Data mining and data warehousing is about the storage of data, whether it's in the cloud, but it's also the study of pattern behavior. If you've ever gone onto Amazon and you wanted to purchase a product, the next time you go on there, you'll have 5 or 6 advertisements that identify a similar product, or customers also purchased or viewed this product. That's data mining. It's the computer actually tracking and reading things that you're interested in. In addition to that, cybersecurity. Every day we hear about breaches, we hear about challenges in industry. So we want to make sure they have access to knowledge in those arenas. And then you'll have a course perhaps on IoT, which is the Internet of Things. How do we interact with Google Voice and other technology that's coming down? And you'll need a number of tools to do that. So we want to make sure that the technical aspect of this program is also addressed, so we don't lose the essence of your ability to be successful. So we'll teach you how to code for R, or to understand how to code for R, Python if you've never used that, and there's a lot of divergent opinions on which is a better process, that battle in the field of data science, so to speak. Hadoop and Spark, these are wonderful tools for open source processing. These are cutting edge technology tools. Tableau Prep, which is a new software. It's an upgrade to Tableau. Python, SQL, Amazon Redshift is a new emerging technology in industry. And it's really forms of data sharing conceptualization. So you will utilize these software tools in-house with us that will really translate out to industry over time. Okay, so again, just really want to emphasize that every course, every time will focus on data, how that data is used to make decisions, what leads to success outcomes for you, looking at different metrics. And if you can put those pieces together, you really will be successful in your career progression and goals and ambitions with a degree from William Paterson here. So let's talk about really industry trends. I did quite a bit of research in this area. I wanted to talk to you about what's happening. What are the jobs that are out there? What are the opportunities that you can kind of secure for yourself? What are you thinking about? You might be coming out of a completely different industry. You might be coming out of education. You might be coming out of, perhaps you understand computer science, but you really want to go into a more technology-driven industry. So I kind of looked at, and we live in an ever-growing information age. We've had companies that have had data breaches, as you can recognize some of these. You've had companies that are doing extremely well on the marketing frontier. You have new emerging technologies. You have predictive analytics organizations here. All of these companies are in the field of collecting data and being able to put it out there and outsource it. And there are many challenges that happen when we look at data. So we really need the technology experts, behind the scenes professionals, and leaders in the field to come together and have a discussion how to provide quality, safe, secure products to consumers without jeopardizing somebody's credit card or personal information on the security front. So these are some of the pieces and conversations we want to have in the course. I pulled through Indeed a few jobs that you can consider looking at. The reason I did this is really just give you a perspective at the type of employment opportunities that are out there for professionals with technical degree areas of skills and knowledge. And what I found is the mid-level jobs, mid-level, is about $96,000 to $97,000 a year. That's via PayScale, which is the open source that I received this information. And a master's degree level will elevate you close to 115,000 or so on a mid-level. And I've talked to professionals who are making well over that. So if you look at the type of jobs, not all of these positions are technical positions. They have a variety of different titles and jobs, but they all relate really well into having some form of knowledge in technology, in some of the coding languages that we use, SQL, IT risk. It's not necessarily the job description that is key or the title that is key. What is key is the skills that you have and how you can apply them. So this is just really interesting to look at, and you should really take more in-depth look into the positions that are out there. If you equate an average of, let's say, $55 an hour into an annual salary, that becomes a significant amount of income per year. Okay, so skills employers are desiring. You don't have to be fully a technician or a data scientist to be extremely successful, but it obviously is the next frontier. So as our program has evolved and as we've designed it, as you can see, we've mirrored what employers are looking for, and that is the blending of soft skills as well as technology knowledge. And when you put those two concepts together, you really see a great market value return on your investment, because you can speak the technical lingo, you can understand the data, and you know how to apply it, how to win with your prospective clients, how to speak to your employer and to be able to present data and really have them heavily rely on you because you're the producer of this, or you're the middle communicator of the information source. And so you really become valuable to that organization in a way that they're going to want to hold on to you for quite some time. So just another graphic, again, in-demand careers by skill area. And again, I'm talking about skills, not jobs. You could see the growth rate in the type of employment year over year in these particular arenas. And if you're a data scientist and you have a technical background, you can make really good income. But if you're a software engineer and you get to that middle management position, you could reach all the way up to 148,000 a year or higher. And you could see in blue highlighted the different types of skill areas. So you could see that statistics, SQL, data analysis, Python, machine learning, all the things that this industry is relating and asking for are really the skill-based content areas that I shared with you earlier in our program. And I was able to find this information on LinkedIn if you're interested, and I'd be happy to share along to you as well. All right, so let's switch gears just a little bit. Just wanted to share with you what are the skills that employers are really looking for, and these are the top 10. So cloud and distributed computing, statistical analysis and data mining, web architecture, and development framework, right? These seem like very technical skill areas, but when you look at data presentation, search engine optimization, how you can drive different outsources and clients to your company, small businesses from landscapers to small business consultants are utilizing search engine optimization through many open sources like Google to really drive people to their website. Mobile development, everything we do is on our phone these days, right? And then network and information security, that is always growing. There are always needs for professionals. So obviously these particular arenas of knowledge and skills are really integral to any organization. So if you can learn a few of these and master them, I believe it'll have a huge dividend in your career goals. Okay, so just some more food for thought. 2/3 of the fastest growing and highest paying skills in these fields are computer science skills. So we obviously know technology is not going anywhere. Innovation is not going there. I'm a believer that if you can think it, if you think about Star Wars, the movie in the 1970s, or another film, Star Trek, think about the technology they had back then and think about what we have today. Everything has evolved so much that those things at the time may have seemed really out of our world. Today, they're very common use tools. And so what we're thinking about in the future and things that we want to have, I believe if we think it, we can actually create it. And so we want to make sure that we're producing individuals that have the skills, the knowledge, and the ability to really be able to move the needle in the technology industry. I will mention, and I think it's important to mention, that in the United States, 20% of the data science and technology marketplace is in the New York, New Jersey metro marketplace. So there are a lot of startup organizations. When we think about technology and working at a company, don't always think big conglomerate companies, obviously, but we really have a tremendous amount of startup incubator programs, companies and organizations that are starting up, small businesses that are utilizing data. And you can really do well in those arenas as well, because you really do change the paradigm in the game on what type of consumer market share demand they have. And you're driving revenue in many of these decisions. If you've ever watched and you're really into baseball, there's a lot of dialogue about them using analytics to make decisions, who's going to be the next batter and how well they hit against a certain pitcher. Analytics is almost in everything that we do today. So let's shift gears back a little bit to the academic side of our program. I really believe that technology, data science, business analytics, business intelligence, and big data overall has its own DNA and its own framework. And so as I guide you through the next curriculum piece, you'll understand, I hope, what type of individual that we're looking for and why. So when we designed our program, one of the things we wanted to make sure is that it is accessible, but at the same time that the individuals coming into our program have the skills and abilities to be effective. So we didn't feel that a GMAT or a GRE requirement was something as a standardized exam that's going to allow us to really look at your potential. So as long as you have a GPA of a 3.0 or better, and you've shown at your undergraduate level or at a different degree level that you've done well, that you have an understanding of what it takes to succeed at a collegiate level, we're going to work with you. We're going to holistically take a look on a case-by-case review and waive your GMAT requirement, because what we really want to look at is some of the other pieces. We want to make sure that perhaps you've taken courses in statistics and you've done well on those. And you may have taken a calculus or a pre-calculus course and you did well in that arena. In addition to that, it's been some time and you have a great foundation based on your work experience of things that you can provide to us and show us that you have the aptitude and this is the right time for you to pursue a degree. So we're going to ask to see your resume, but we're not going to really ask for letters of recommendation or a personal statement, because those aren't the greatest predictors. All right, you're not really going to ask anyone to write you a letter of recommendation and they're going to say, this is not a good person, I'm not supporting you. So on the contrary, they're going to write this, you're the best they've ever seen, no one like you ever out there. In a personal statement, you know, you're going to tell me a little bit about yourself, but it's hard for me to compare that to actually seeing what you've done on paper, such as that history of how well you've progressed in your academic studies. And in addition to that, how well you may have done in other arenas in your workplace, and what you've had as an impact on society, and perhaps what has happened in your life now for you to be ready to move ahead in your career. So again, 3.0 GPA, resume, application, and that will give you a great start to getting yourself reviewed for the admissions process. By the way, we and I really pride myself on this, and admissions have been really supportive in this. We will have a decision for you in as little as 3 days once we have a complement of all those criteria documents that you've provided to us. Okay, so some really neat stuff about the program. We are actually one of the most, if not the most affordable Masters of Science in Applied Business Analytics programs in the region, if not ideally in the state as well. At $700 a credit, and looking at a total of 30 credits, that equates to only 10 classes. You're looking at about $21,000 in total. And if you're looking at graduate degrees and you really are comparing, this program, I think, will address all of your needs, but without really breaking the bank. And your ROI based on the job market out there is really tremendous. You could really do well beyond graduation without putting yourself into a tremendous amount of debt. Now, if you should need financial aid, you can absolutely complete a FAFSA application, which is the free application of federal student aid for fiscal year 18-19, and I can help guide you through that entire process. It's very easy. It takes very little time to do, and you have plenty of time to do that after the application has been accepted and you've actually enrolled in 2 classes at a minimum, as I previously shared to you. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about academic resources. How do we ensure your success beyond what you've learned in the classroom, right? That makes sense. We don't just want to have you come here, learn in the classroom, and then shake your hand and say good luck out there. We want to make sure that as an alumni of William Paterson University's Cotsakos College of Business, you're a great advocate for us. You're out there representing the university. Your degree has value, but we've also provided you the tools to be successful. So how do we do that? And I know I've used some maybe interesting imagery, but I really wanted to make this a lighthearted presentation for you. But we host over 20 different networking events here, engagement events, professional enrichment opportunities. We have a summer boot camp where you learn about a variety of different industry areas, focus on automotive technology, food, pharmaceutical, banking, data technology. We've had a cybersecurity conference here, a 3rd year in a row we've done that. We've had wonderful speakers from different arenas and areas of knowledge. So we really want to invest and enrich your professional experience by exposing you to a variety of different networking events here, connecting with alumni and engaging. And that really is the essence of a quality business school. And that's something we're going to continue to grow. And you'll also be invited to a pretty big graduate business programs networking event every single summer. So we welcome you to participate in that. In addition to that, we want to make sure you're successful in the classroom. And so we have on-site librarian dedicated to the College of Business. We'll provide resources on things like, how do I know if I'm paraphrasing properly? How do I know that I can attain information that is credentialed and has great referencing, like using EBSCOhost or Veil, a lot of the different peer-reviewed articles out there that you can draw information from. Our librarian will help you get that information and that data. We have an on-site career professional that'll help review your resume, help write your cover letter. We can do mock interviews to help you enrich your academic experience. And all of these things are really there to be crutches and support services for you. In addition to tutoring, if perhaps you are struggling in the class, we encourage group study, and part of the cohort learning model is really going to enrich that opportunity for you. But even more so, we have tutoring support services for more quantitative content areas such as finance and statistics and data management. So you have somebody you can lean on that will guide you through the process to really be successful in the learning experience within the classroom environment. Okay, so what else do we do? We have the luxury to be home to the Rossberry Institute for Professional Sales. And so they have excellent labs and facilities here that allow us to have these point-to-point, person-to-person interaction for you to learn how to properly interview, how to present a concept or a product. If you have a presentation at work that you have to do, you can come in here, practice it, and actually get refined in that arena. We will record you. You can play it back and learn from those things. We will critique you with our professionals. So there's a lot of resources for you to be successful. I will also mention that we have the Global Business Finance Institute. So if you're in the arena of technology that deals with finance, certainly there's resources are abound, like Bloomberg and other technical resource services are available to you here on site at the College of Business. So what are some cool things that we've done? We've actually done quite a few. We've visited to Omaha, Nebraska with a few of our students to meet with Warren Buffett. We've also taken an exclusive tour of Google in New York City and learned about how they operate and what kind of technical things they search and look for. These are some of the things that we want to make sure that you are exposed to outside of the classroom. So if you're a student here, it's not just about going in the class, sitting down, learning, connecting with your peers, and leaving. We want to make sure that you also have opportunity to reach beyond and do things that you otherwise wouldn't always have access to do, such as visiting Google and learning about how they operate and what kind of functions and different distributed centers that they have and professionals that work there and what they do. And you're exposed to those resources as well. Okay, and finally, no quality program would be designed or do well if we didn't have professionals that come from industry, leadership speakers, guest speakers, individuals that are working at the executive level, the C-suite level in different careers, to kind of invest their knowledge into your professional goal and growth. And so these are the things that we're looking for to be able to provide you the resources to be successful. So as I wrap up, I try to have a little bit of a shorter presentation, but cover all those student resources as a recap, academic criteria, talk to you about the structure of the program, the course content, what are the market and industry trends, and also these open source resources that we have for you. And if you're interested in learning more, I welcome you to really join us at our June 21st open house that'll be hosted here at the Valley Road campus. If you haven't been here, if you're not a graduate of William Paterson, we welcome you to explore the facility. We have our own building. We have a number of great features here that we'd love to share with you. And this is a great time to come and meet with me, to meet with the faculty, to meet the dean, to talk about your potential for being accepted on site. We literally will render a decision on site. If you attend not just the webinar, but also the open house, will waive your application fee. So we really want to go and meet you halfway to be able to help you get into this program. And if you really are ambitious and you do the 10 classes, you can finish in 15 months. So I think that will summarize. And if there are any questions that I may have missed, I know a few may have come in. I'm happy to connect with you beyond this. I do have all of your contact information. And so I will be reaching out to you, and perhaps we could schedule a one-on-one phone discussion, and then that will lead to the open house or a face-to-face kind of discussion about your career goals. Brian?
Thank you, Michael. We did have we had two questions come in so far, and they were both very similar. So I'll ask those. And just a reminder that if anyone does have any additional questions, feel free to type them in the chat box there on the GoToWebinar screen. Both students were interested in the ability to take a look at the curriculum. One, just to see the different courses that are available. The other was wondering more about the planning of the curriculum, different semesters that a particular elective might be available, etc. So is there a general place that you would recommend that they look for that? I know the course catalog certainly is linked to the website, but is there anywhere on the College of Business website that you would direct them?
Sure. So we have actually are in the process of updating a web page, so everything should be up by early part of next week. But what I will be doing tomorrow morning is I will email to everybody, whether they joined the webinar today or are interested in the program exploration further on, the full comprehensive curriculum. I have it in front of me here, and we have two tracks, as I mentioned. There's a part-time track and there's a full-time track. And so I will show you the sample curriculum of the courses and the rotation you will take them in. But mostly, we want to encourage everyone to take these courses as a collective group in a cohort-based environment. So you really work with one another, with your peers in the classroom. But absolutely, I will be able to share that on tomorrow morning. And also, once we have every detail up on the website, you will see this as well. We're in the process of kind of reshifting a few things on the website because we really want to make sure that we have a frequently asked questions option up there. We have options for you to inquire further, get easy apply information, and also get the curriculum fully reviewed online. But I believe it is already up there, but I will be happy to share it tomorrow morning as a first thing.
And then we just had another question come through. As an undergrad, what classes would be good to consider taking to prepare for the grad program?
That's a great question. So if you're exploring the MS in Applied Analytics, we really want to see that you've at least taken one statistics course, preferably two, and average to B or better in those courses. It would also serve your interest to have had a course in business analytics, any MIS course. Those are not required, but those are recommended. And we want to see if you've tried to tackle a pre-calculus or a calculus course, and that you've done well enough with a B average in that to show that you have the academic and professional quantitative aptitude to do well in the program. But again, we look at every single student from a very holistic perspective. I have somebody perhaps that recently graduated about 5 years ago that did not fare as well at the undergraduate level, but what they do in their career and how far they've progressed really validates who they are today. And so we'll be working with that individual to allow them the opportunity to see what are the best options to enroll in our programs here. So, we really try to help everybody and have that discussion. But if you're still in the undergrad and you're thinking about the graduate program and you're thinking about analytics, really focus on statistics and potentially calculus and other math-based or quantitative-based courses.
And then another question that came through, Michael, do you see any difference for someone coming into the program as a William Paterson undergraduate alum versus somebody coming from another college or university?
So we don't, because we know that a lot of, depending on the school somebody went to, a lot of the programs in our region, and particularly in the United States, maybe even overseas, really do address a lot of the quality points. And this program isn't just designed to attract the individual that has a background in technology or mathematics or data science in any way. We attract and appeal other individuals with other quantitative or qualitative knowledge bases. So it doesn't really matter where you pursued or attained your undergraduate degree. What matters is, are you qualified? Do you have good credentials? Are you ready to do this in your career? Can we work together? Is this the right fit for you? And do you see a good market for yourself in a career front for you in this arena? And so if we can check the boxes in a number of those areas, certainly we welcome your application. And application, by the way, can easily be attained if you go to the graduate homepage, and you will receive emails about that as well, for sure.
And then it looks like that's it for questions as of now. I just wanted to make sure for anybody who may have joined us late, I just want to let you know that in addition to hearing from Michael, you'll be hearing from our office as well. We did record this presentation in its entirety, and we are going to be making it available to you. So you can expect an email from us probably by the end of this week, early next week at the very latest. That'll include a link to our YouTube channel. So if you did miss some of the slides in the beginning, or if you want to refer back to any of this information that will be helpful for you, you will have the opportunity to do so. Just wanted to make sure anybody who joined us late was aware. Michael, I think that's it for our questions. Obviously, thank you so much for taking the time to do the presentation. Anything else you want to say before we head on out for the evening?
No, I think, I just really want to thank everyone for taking their time. I know you have a lot of things in your mind and you're really thinking about graduate education for yourself. And I really would encourage you to explore William Paterson. We've really worked hard to design a quality reputation here, build on what we've done in our MBA program as well and other programs, and really just talk to you and have dialogue about what it is that you're focused on in your career. And that's really been the focus of my presentation, because that's really what matters, right? We want to prepare you to be successful in the job market and at the same time give you the tools to be able to kind of lead your own change. And so those are the real factors behind what we've focused our program on, and not just teaching you the technical aspect and putting you out there into industry. So I look forward to having that dialogue, and I really am thankful for everyone's participation today.
And just to finally put things in context for anybody who might have an interest in the program and might be considering starting the program for the fall semester, classes start for the fall the first week of September, and certainly that allows plenty of time between now and then to get an application in to get started. Would recommend obviously as soon as possible, because classes registration is open for the fall now. So as Michael said, given his department's ability to turn around applications quickly, you could get accepted and registered for classes probably probably by the end of next week. Wouldn't surprise me with Michael. So certainly keep that in mind, and we'd love to see you on campus for the fall semester. So if you have any questions, certainly feel free to reach out to Michael. You can see his contact information there. And for all of us here at the Graduate Admissions Office and everyone within the College of Business, thank you again for taking time out of your schedule to join us. And we hope to hear from you very soon. Have a good night.
Thank you all. Have a great evening.